Stop waiting for validation. Start taking action. Too many people are trapped in a cycle of hesitation, waiting for someone to tell them they're good enough, talented enough, or ready enough to move forward. They spend their lives searching for approval that may never come. But the truth is, nobody is going to give you permission to live your dream. You have to give that to yourself. Every great person you admire, every athlete, entrepreneur, artist, or leader had to make that same choice. They stopped waiting for the world to validate them, and they took the first step when nobody was watching, when nobody believed, and when nobody cared. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. When you spend too much time seeking validation, you start losing momentum. You let people's opinions dictate your pace, your confidence, your decision. You become afraid to fail because failure might make people doubt you. But here's the reality. Failure doesn't define you. Inaction does. You can't build confidence from standing still. You build it through movement, through small wins, through trying and learning. Every step you take, even if it's shaky, teaches you something that makes you stronger. You learn who you are, what you can handle, and what you still need to work on. And that's far more valuable than waiting around for someone else's approval. There will always be people who don't understand your dream. Some will doubt you because they can't see what you see. Others will criticize because they gave up on themselves and want you to do the same. You can't let their noise silence your drive. The truth is, nobody sees your vision as clearly as you do. It was given to you for a reason. The longer you wait for someone else to approve it, the more time you waste that could have been spent building. Every day you hesitate, someone else out there is taking action, and that's why they'll win. Not because they're better or luckier, but because they moved while others waited. Taking action doesn't mean you'll have it all figured out. It means you're willing to figure it out along the way. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just need faith in yourself. Start small, write the plan, send the message, make the call, learn the skill. Whatever it is, stop waiting for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. The perfect moment is created by movement, Action builds clarity, and clarity builds momentum. The people who succeed are the ones who started messy, learn quickly, and refuse to stop. Validation is a dangerous addiction. Once you start needing it, you depend on it. You start measuring your worth based on likes, comments, praise, or support. But real success is internal. It's about waking up every day with purpose and pushing forward even when nobody notices. It's about doing the work quietly, consistently, until your results make the noise for you. When you stop seeking validation, you become unstoppable because your motivation no longer depends on others. It comes from within. You work because you believe in your vision, not because you need people to believe in it first. Think about the greats. Did Eric Thomas wait for someone to give him permission to speak? No. He started when nobody was listening. He spoke with power and conviction until the world had no choice but to pay attention. Did Steve Jobs wait for approval to create Apple? Did Michael Jordan wait for permission to chase greatness? No. They acted in spite of rejection. They created their own lane, their own standard, their own definition of success. That's what you must do. Decide that your dream is valid, even if nobody claps for it. When you stop waiting for validation, you stop being afraid of failure. You understand that mistakes are just feedback, not final results. You begin to see every setback as a setup for a comeback. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I never try? Because the real tragedy isn't failing. It's never starting. You have one life, one shot to make your mark, and wasting it waiting for approval is the surest way to regret. You owe it to yourself to move, even if your steps are small. Progress is progress. Momentum builds when you start. Each action builds confidence. Each risk strengthens your faith. And soon you'll realize you don't need anyone's permission to be great. You only need your own. The people who laugh will eventually respect your results. The ones who doubted you will wish they had your courage. You will wish they had your courage. But none of that matters because your validation comes from within. Stop waiting for validation. Start taking action. The only way to find out how far you can go is by moving. You can't learn your limits from the sidelines. You can't unlock your potential through waiting. Your life changes when you decide to take responsibility for it. It's time to silence the doubts, ignore the noise, and move toward your dream. Mindset is your muscle. Train it daily. Just like your body needs exercise to grow stronger, your mind needs daily discipline to reach its full power. The truth is, success starts long before you see the results. It begins in your thoughts and how you speak to yourself and how you respond when life hits you hard. Your mindset decides whether you break down or break through. It's the difference between giving up after failure and rising again with fire. People often focus on their circumstances, their background, their resources, but what truly separates winners from the rest is how they think. If you want to elevate your life, you have to elevate your mind first. Every single day, you're being tested. Some days will challenge your patience, your confidence, your belief in yourself. And in those moments, your mindset is what carries you through. If you haven't trained it, it'll crumble. If you built it strong, it'll protect you. When your mind is strong, nothing outside of you can destroy you. You'll face obstacles, rejection, disappointment, but instead of seeing those as reasons to stop, you'll see them as part of the process. A trained mind doesn't react emotionally. It responds with purpose. It doesn't complain about how hard it is. It asks, what can I learn from this? Training your mindset isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. You can't work on your mind once a week and expect strength every day. It's repetition, consistency, and awareness. Every morning, you have to choose what kind of energy you'll carry. You have to feed your mind with focus, positivity, and growth. You can't fill it with negativity, comparison, and excuses and expect to succeed. You can't scroll through distractions and expect discipline. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your mental space because your mind becomes whatever it consumes. When you wake up, your first thoughts shape your day. If you start the day thinking about what you lack, you'll feel weak. If you start the day thinking about what you're grateful for, you'll feel powerful. Gratitude sharpens your focus and keeps you grounded. You must learn to speak life into yourself every day. Tell yourself, I'm capable. I'm built for this. I can handle whatever comes my way. Because if you don't train your mind to believe in you, the world will train it to doubt you. You can't afford that. Your success, your peace, your purpose, they all depend on how strong your mindset is. Strong minds are built through resistance. The same way muscles grow from tension, your mental strength grows from pressure. Every challenge you face is a chance to build endurance. When things don't go your way, don't ask a why me. Ask, what is this teaching me? Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from discomfort, from discipline, from doing what most people won't. Every time you push yourself beyond your limits, you teach your mind that you are stronger than you thought. That belief, once built, becomes unstoppable. There are days when you won't feel motivated, and that's okay. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Strong mindset isn't built on feelings. It's built on commitment. You do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. You study when you're tired. You work when it's inconvenient. You show up when nobody else does. That's how you build mental muscle. You can't talk your way into strength. You gotta train it. You gotta earn it through consistency and grit. Your environment plays a big role. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, or people who make excuses, that energy will weaken your mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who push you, challenge you, and hold you accountable, your mind grows sharper. Iron sharpens iron. Be around people who make you think bigger, who speak faith when you start to doubt, who remind you that you're built for more. A strong mindset needs strong surrounding. Understand that your mind is always listening to what you say. If you constantly say, I can't, I'm tired, or it's too hard, your mind believes it. But if you tell yourself, I can all win, I will, I must, your mind starts finding ways to make it happen. Your thoughts are commands. Speak strength and your mind will follow. Speak weakness and your life will reflect it. This is why affirmations and self-talk matter. They're not cliches. They're training tools. You're not supposed to have an easy path. You're supposed to have a meaningful one. Every challenge is shaping your mental toughness, preparing you for the bigger battles ahead. You can't run from difficulty. You've got to face it with courage. When you stop seeing problems as punishments and start seeing them as preparation, your entire life changes. Your mindset determines your limits. Turn rejection into redirection. Every time life tells you a no, it's not the end of the road. It's a signal to adjust, not to quit. Most people treat rejection like a final judgment, as if someone else's opinion has the power to define their destiny. But rejection isn't personal, it's preparation. It's life's way of pushing you toward where you actually belong. The problem is, too many people stop at a no instead of asking, well, what's next? They let rejection break their spirit instead of build their strength. But the ones who win, the ones who rise, they learn to use rejection as fuel. They don't cry over closed doors. They knock on new ones until something opens. When you face rejection, it hurts. It challenges your confidence and makes you question your worth. But pain has purpose if you let it. Every rejection teaches you something about yourself, about your approach, and about what truly matters to you. It's a test. Will you let it make you bitter, or will you let it make you better? Life is filled with people who gave up one rejection too soon. They stopped chasing their dream because someone didn't believe in them. They forgot that rejection doesn't define you. Your response does. You can't control who accepts or rejects you, but you can always control how you show up afterward. Rejection often means you're being redirected to something greater. You might not see it in the moment, but sometimes the opportunity you thought you wanted would have limited you. That and no protected you from a path that wasn't meant for your purpose. Think about it. Every person who's ever achieved greatness had to face rejection. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. What if they had stopped after that first no? What if they had believed the people who didn't believe in them? They wouldn't have changed the world. Rejection didn't stop them. It redirected them towards something bigger. When life says no, don't shrink. Recalibrate. Ask yourself what the lesson is. Maybe you weren't ready yet. Maybe your skills needed sharpening. Maybe your attitude needed adjusting. Rejection isn't always punishment. Sometimes it's correction. It forces you to reflect, to evolve, to improve. The strongest people aren't those who never fail. They're the ones who keep moving forward after every fall. They turn rejection into motivation. They say, all right, you told me no. Watch me become so good you can't ignore me next time. That's the mindset that separates winners from quitters. Too many people take rejection personally. They think it's proof they're not good enough. But rejection often says more about the other person than about you. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe they couldn't see your value. Maybe they weren't the right fit for your journey. That doesn't mean you stop. You have to keep showing up until you find the place that sees your worth. You're not meant to be accepted by everyone. You're meant to be accepted where your gift is needed most. Sometimes rejection is the universe saying, not here. Try again, over there. You've got to learn to turn rejection into energy. Don't let it drain you. Let it drive you. Use that frustration to focus harder. Use that disappointment to build something better. When people reject you, let their doubt become your determination. Let their silence become your motivation. There's a powerful feeling that comes from proving to yourself that you can rise after being turned down. Every no becomes a stepping stone toward your yes. But you'll never reach that yes if you stop walking after the first obstacle. When you get rejected, it's natural to feel discouraged. It's okay to feel hurt for a moment, but don't stay there. You've got to process the pain and then push forward. The world doesn't owe you approval. It rewards persistence. Every successful person you see today was once ignored, doubted, or dismissed. The difference is they didn't let that stop them. They kept showing up when others would have given up. That consistency is what turned rejection into redirection. Sometimes rejection is exactly what you need to grow. It humbles you, forces you to get better, and teaches you patience. It reminds you that success is earned, not given. When things come too easily, you take them for granted. But when you've been rejected over and over and you finally break through, you value it so much more. That struggle gives your success meaning. It shapes your character. It makes you appreciate every victory because you remember the pain it took to get there. There's freedom in realizing that rejection can't destroy you unless you let it. The moment you stop fearing it, you gain power. You start taking more chances, applying for more opportunities, speaking up more bold. You understand that rejection isn't fatal, it's feedback. Bet on yourself, even when nobody else will. There comes a time in everyone's life when you have to make a decision. Are you going to keep waiting for people to believe in? Or are you finally going to believe in yourself? Too many people are sitting on their dreams because they're waiting for external approval. They want their family to support them, their friends to cheer for them, or society to tell them they're doing the right thing. But if you wait for everyone to agree with your vision, you'll never move. Nobody will understand your dream the way you do because it wasn't given to them. It was given to. You have to be the first one to bet on yourself, to invest in your own belief, and to push forward even when it feels like no one's watching. When you bet on yourself, you take ownership of your future. You stop blaming people for not seeing your potential and start showing them through action. You realize that your life is your responsibility. Your success, your growth, your breakthrough depends on you. The moment you stop expecting people to save you, you discover your own power. Because no matter how much support you get, no one can work for your dream like you can. No one will fight for it the way you will. And when you truly believe that, you start moving differently. You stop asking for permission and start making progress. Betting on yourself means believing in your ability to figure things out, even when you don't have all the answers. It means trusting that your effort, consistency, and heart will lead you to the right opportunities. Life won't always give you guarantees, but when you have faith in yourself, you become unstoppable. The truth is, confidence isn't built by waiting, it's built by doing. Every risk you take, every challenge you face, every failure you overcome adds another layer of belief in yourself. You start realizing that you don't need perfect conditions, you just need the courage to start. The world often waits to believe in people until they've already succeeded. Nobody claps for you at the beginning. You'll be working in silence, grinding when no one notices, fighting battles no one sees. That's when most people quit, because they mistake silence for failure. But silence is part of the process. That's the season when you're planting seeds. You have to be willing to bet on yourself during that stage, when the results haven't shown up yet, when the progress feels invisible. Because if you stay consistent through that one day, the same people who ignored you will applaud you. When you bet on yourself, you stop letting fear control you. Fear will always tell you what you can't do, what could go wrong, or how you might fail. But courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward despite it. The people who achieve greatness aren't fearless. They're faithful. They trust that even if they fall, they'll rise again. They know that losing while trying is better than never trying at all. Every time you take a risk on yourself, even if it doesn't go as planned, you gain experience, strength, and clarity. Those lessons become your foundation for success. It's not easy to bet on yourself when others doubt you. Sometimes, even the people closest to you won't understand. They'll question your decisions, your path, and your goals. That's okay. They're not supposed to understand your vision because it wasn't revealed to them. You don't owe them explanation. You owe yourself commitment. The loudest support must come from within. When you wake up every morning, you have to look in the mirror and remind yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, that your dreams matter. You have to speak life into your own journey when nobody else does. Self-belief is built through discipline. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you show up when it's hard, your faith deepens. Every time you push through discomfort, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. That's what betting on yourself really means. It's not just saying, I believe in me. It's showing it through consistent action. You have to be willing to put in the work even when results aren't immediate. You have to believe that the effort you give today will pay off tomorrow. There will be moments when you question if it's worth it. Times when you feel exhausted, unsure, and tempted to give up. In those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remember that every successful person once stood where you are. Alone, uncertain, and scared, but they kept going. They bet on themselves when nobody else did. They believed that their hard work would eventually speak louder than their doubts. And that's exactly what happened. Your story can be the same. You just have to keep showing up, keep believing, and keep pushing forward. When you bet on yourself, you give yourself permission to grow beyond limits. You open doors that doubt kept closed. Don't wait for the perfect timing, create it. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is that they'll stop when the time is right. They say, I'll chase my dream when I have more money, or I'll start that business when I'm more experienced. Or I'll change my life when things settle down. When things settle down. But here's the truth. Things will never be perfect. There will always be a reason to wait. Always an excuse. Always something standing in the way. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll end up waiting forever. The people who succeed aren't the ones who found perfect timing. They're the ones who created it. They started messy, scared, and unsure, but they started. And that's what made all the difference. You have to understand that perfection is a trap. It's the enemy of progress. Waiting until everything aligns perfectly is just another way of hiding your fear. You say you're waiting for the right moment, but deep down, you're afraid to fail, afraid to be judged, afraid to step into the unknown. The truth is, no one ever feels 100% ready to chase their dream. You become ready by doing. You learn as you go. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback shapes your strength. You can't grow by standing still. Growth happens in motion. The only way to create momentum move even when you don't feel ready. There's power in starting before you're ready because it forces you to adapt. You learn to think fast, adjust quickly, and push through fear. You become resourceful. You stop waiting for opportunity and start creating it. That's how winners operate. They don't wait for ideal circumstances. They make the best out of what they have. They use their current situations training. They understand that every small step forward counts. Progress doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. Be consistent. Every day you take action, you build confidence. Every day you show up, you move closer to your goals. Think about all the people who waited for the right time and never started. Their dreams are buried in hesitation. They kept saying, "Oh, someday," and that someday never came. Time doesn't slow down for hesitation. Opportunities pass by while you're busy second-guessing yourself. You can't afford to wait for perfect timing because it doesn't exist. The right time is always now. The people who change their lives are the ones who act while others are still thinking about it. You don't have to know every step ahead. You just need to take the next one. Creating the right time means working with what you have, right where you are. Maybe you don't have all the money, all the equipment, or all the connections. That's fine. Start anyway. Use what you got and make it work. When you move with purpose, the universe meets you halfway. Opportunities start appearing. People start showing up and resources start flowing. But none of that happens until you take action. You can't attract blessings by standing still. You have to show that you're serious about your dream. You have to prove that you're willing to take the first step, even if it's small. People often say timing is everything, but what they forget is that you control your timing through decision. The more you wait, the more fear grows. The more you move, the more courage builds. The people who win aren't lucky. They're brave. They messy action and figure it out along the way. They understand that motion beats meditation every single time. You can plan for years, but planning means nothing if you don't execute. You learn more in 1 week of action than in a year of waiting. Action creates clarity. Once you start, things begin to make sense. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. You'll never feel fully prepared, and that's okay. That discomfort you feel before starting is growth trying to happen. It's your old self-resisting change. But if you let fear win, you'll stay stuck in the same place, comfortable but unfulfilled. You'll watch others move ahead while you keep convincing yourself that your time will come. Your time will only come when you make it come. The people who succeed take that leap of faith. They understand that imperfect action is better than perfect hesitation. Every step forward, no matter how small, puts you ahead of everyone still waiting. When you decide to create your own timing, you take control of your life. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You realize that the world doesn't give success to the most talented or the most prepared. It gives it to the most consistent. Every great achievement you see today started with someone who began at the wrong time, but made it the right time through effort and persistence. The key is not waiting for the moment, it's making the moment matter. Perfection is overrated. Progress is everything. The small, unglamorous steps you take today are what build the foundation for your future.